What are we making today, you guys?
Dal.
What are we making?
Dal.
Oh, dal. Do you like dal, Sion?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. How about you? Do you like dal?
Oh, you have to say to the puppy.
Oh, puppy, do you like dal? Oh, what about you?
Not me. I kind of like it.
Kind of. All right. And we're going to make our dal today from red lentils. So we like the organic, but you can get the regular red lentils that are a lot less expensive. But you'll notice when you rinse them that there will be a lot of color wash off. All right, so what we're going to start with is we're going to start with a cup. Ooh, hi. We're going to start with a cup of red lentils. Got a cup in there. And then we are going to rinse that out really good. And the reason why we rinse it really good is because if you boil it, the, I don't know what it is. It's a residue or something from the lentils. It makes a lot of bubbles. So like it'll just boil over. You see how all those bubbles? So that's like from the wash off. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to rinse really, really, really good. But you can notice now that there isn't as many bubbles and the water is clear. So I probably rinsed this out 10 to 15 times. Now the water is clear and you can actually see through the water. So we're going to go ahead and fill this up with water now. And I'd use cold water. So you're going to go ahead and let this boil. And you're going to add some ingredients. So we always add ground cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, turmeric, and salt. Here we go. Salt. And then we like tomatoes in ours, so we always put that in here. These are de-seeded and skinned tomatoes because that's how my husband likes them. Very simple. You don't have to do that. You can just dice a tomato and stick it in there. And then we just let it simmer for a while and the house smells really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and add all of those ingredients in there. I'm going to try and figure out measurement wise so that way you guys can kind of have an idea. Okay. So I would say for onion, 3/4 to 1 teaspoon. Same for the cumin. Garlic, you can do 1/2 to 3/4 of a teaspoon. And maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric. So, and then this is 2 de-seeded and skinned tomatoes, Roma, that's how you'd say it, right? Yeah, Roma tomatoes. Otherwise, you can use one really big tomato and dice that up. So we're just going to go ahead and let this boil and then simmer. And usually we let it simmer for at least a half hour till the lentils start looking, right now you can tell that they aren't cooked at all. But they'll split a little bit when it's cooked and this will be much thicker. You may need to add more water as you're cooking. Just gotta kind of see how fast you're cooking it and go from there. Here we are, it's boiling. So I can probably turn it down and let it simmer. I had it on high. You can let it simmer a little bit more. Maybe turn it down to medium. But you can, all that steam. You can tell that they're starting to soften a little bit. For salt, I forgot to mention that when we were seasoning this. It's to taste. We add probably about 1/2 teaspoon. And then you can always add more when you're eating it with your bowl of rice. Also forgot to mention that we add kasuri methi, which is fenugreek, dried fenugreek leaves. And we bought this online on eBay, but you can buy it in probably any Indian grocery store, and you don't have to get 2.2 pounds because as you can see, why don't you hold that? That is a lot. And you don't need that much. We've given away a lot of this and we've probably had this for almost a year.
Look how big it is on me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've been simmering here on medium for about a half hour. maybe not quite. And you can see that they've split and they've softened quite a bit. You could probably make this and do your Tadka, but I don't like it quite this much. I like it to be a little bit more thicker with the liquid and stuff like that. I'm going to add more water to this. So I added more water to it because I don't know what that's called, rendering. I don't know. I know you call that with oil, but I like it to feel like the liquid to be just a little bit thicker, and this isn't very thick right now. I know because I added the water, but it wasn't before I added the water either. So I'm going to let it probably sit for another 15-20 minutes before I do anything with it. But that stage you probably could, but I don't think it tastes as nice as it will if I just wait. And good things come to those who wait. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of what you want it to look like. Here you can see how it's much more, almost creamy with the liquid. And you could put a little bit more water in this for the final product. But when it looks like this, you can turn it down to low and you can start preparing the Tadka. So this is how you would make the Tadka, the oil Tadka. I don't know what Tadka means, to be honest with you, but you would put, you know, maybe like 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 of a cup of oil. What do we got here? This says, yeah, so it's at 1/3, so yeah, about that. And then you would heat this oil up, and then once it's heated to a nice temperature for like frying things, then you would add some mustard seeds. And I'll try to record that so that you can see them popping. And once they pop, then you would add some cumin seeds. And then some fenugreek seeds. And some of these dried chili peppers. You can break them up and stick them in there so that the seeds come out. Oh, it is so good. And then after these have browned, almost blackened, then you would add garlic. So you can chop up your garlic. So here's like some garlic. You could, you know, just chop some of that up. Or you could also add like minced garlic. With this, the oil is going to spit because there's water in it. So take note of that. But it's a whole lot easier because you don't have to chop it up yourself. After that, then you would add some ginger. You could probably put them in at the same time. I like to use this because it makes it a whole lot easier on me, and I just add that in there. Or you could take some ginger. This is not a lot. You would use a very small amount of ginger. Maybe about the size of a dime, I would say, of ginger. You can cut that up into tiny, tiny little itty bitty pieces and fry that together. And then once those have browned, then you would pour it into your dal. Okay? I'll try to get the cracking of the mustard seeds when I do it. We'll see how that goes. So this is what it looks like. Here I already added the mustard seeds. I thought I was taping. I'm so sorry. But you can kind of hear like a crackle, but it'll sound a whole lot more crackly. It'll be like crack, 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 crack when you add the mustard seeds. But this is the chili, dried chilies, cumin, fenugreek, and I'm going to add the ginger and garlic now. So I added the ginger and the garlic, and we're just browning that right now a little bit.
I can't see, Mom. I can't see. Are you doing it?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm taping. And I did add the minced garlic, which had the water in it, and that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't tape it. So, because it like really spits up. And then I'm just gonna add this into here, and that is my dal. Can you please put the dosa away? Okay. Now this might spit up a little bit because it's being poured into water. And I forgot, but I can still do it. I can add cilantro. We like cilantro. It tastes really good in the dal. So I'll be adding cilantro then to this. But you can add it before this time. With the cilantro, and I am making rice right now. I rinse the rice and I put some oil in the water, and these are cumin seeds, and then I would put salt in it, and I put it on high. And then what I'll do is I'll wait for this to boil down so that there's just a little bit of water still when you stir it with the rice, and then I turn off the power and I put a lid on and I just let it steam, and it turns out really nice. You open it up 10 minutes later and you fluff it, and it's like really yummy rice. So that's how I make my rice. Be sure to stir this well or scrape the bottom, because the rice will stick to the bottom if you don't do that, because we do have it on high. But it's getting close here. Almost all the water is boiled down. This is kind of how we want it to be, like this. When you stir it, you don't see a lot of bubbles. Looks like it's ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and turn it off here. We're going to put the lid on, and now we're just going to leave it. And that will steam it up. And it's just perfect rice. Oh, I think it's probably been about 10 minutes. It stopped steaming on the outside. Take a look here, and you fluff it, and it's just beautiful rice. It is rice with some dal, lentils. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. It's so good. I like a lot of it on mine. So these chili peppers, you can discard them if you would like. The first couple of years I ate dal, that's what I did. But now I know how good they taste, so I will, inside there's like really hot spicy juice, so I will squeeze that out into my dal, or I will put the whole chili pepper on my spoon and eat it, and it tastes really, really good. But that, Trini, is our lentils. I hope you enjoy. Bye.